Hi. Take the television. Place it against your body. Feel the sound of my voice. I'm Diamond David Lee Roth, here at the US Festival in San Bernardino, California, from Van Halen.
The 80s, the decade of technological advance. Home entertainment systems and computers were all the rage, and one company seen this and wanted to lead the way. Apple CEO Steve Wozniak had the great idea of mixing technology and pop culture in one big festival, and the US Festival was born. But it was day 2 on Memorial Day weekend of 1983 that will go down in history for many reasons. Today the Rock Crue looks at Heavy Metal Day at the US Festival. Please like, subscribe and ring the bell for future releases. The US Festival was held on Memorial Day weekend in 1983, and the Sunday was dedicated to heavy metal music. Some say this was the birth of hair metal and the decade-long party that was to follow. 300,000 people descend on Glen Helen Regional Park in San Bernardino for the festival. Temperatures were boiling that weekend, and from the start, hoses were being fired into the crowd to cool down the fans at the front. First on stage was the rockers Quiet Riot. They played a 9-song set list including Come On Feel the Noise and Metal Health. Weeks later, the album Metal Health went to number 1, solidifying metal's place at the top. Next up were Motley Crue. Again, Motley Crue had just been signed before the festival, and this was their first outing before their Shout at the Devil album and tour. This was their biggest concert to date, and they put on a show, blasting hits from their independent Too Fast for Love album and some new songs from their coming album Shout at the Devil. If you listen carefully, you can hear some alternate lyrics to some of their biggest hits. They also showed their new look, a mix between Mad Max and Escape from New York styled outfits. But it was Vince Neil that caused the most controversy that weekend, sleeping with their A&R man Tom Zutaut's girlfriend. Tom only found out about this years later in the epic biography The Dirt, and to his dismay the whole band already knew. If caught, this could have been the end of Motley Crue before they began. Least to say, the rest of the band were not impressed with Vince's actions. Next up was Ozzy Osbourne, showing off his new band with guitar wizard Jakey Lee. Ozzy played a set of hits from his first 2 albums and a few Black Sabbath covers. His upcoming album Bark at the Moon wasn't recorded yet, and this was Ozzy's first outing with the new band. This wasn't Ozzy's greatest set, but the Wild Man was impressed with Motley and invited them to join his future tour. Also, Ozzy sported one of the strangest outfits I've ever seen, which was soon ripped off by the start of the show. Next up was Britain's Judas Preist. Brummie rockers blasted through hit after hit, and always the theatric frontman Rob Halford owned the stage, clad in leather. Great set from the legends. Triumph took the stage around 6 PM. They just released their album Never Surrender and played a set of old and new hits. A solid set from the Canadian rockers. At 7:55, the Scorpions took the stage. Some say they stole the show with this performance. They just released their Blackout album and played a killer set including hits of old and new. Finally, the most anticipated set of the weekend was Van Halen. But as the lights went down and Eddie's guitar tech Rudy said the immortal words,
"Hello, Southern California! Are you ready to get down? I give you the mighty Van Halen!"
a spotlight shined on the stage, and guitarist Edward Van Halen launched into Romeo Delight. But as the band kicked in, to everyone's shock, Dave was off his head. Backstage videos earlier in the day had shown the band's antics, but Roth had indulged to excess and was slurving his way through the greatest hits. Forgetting words, calling out the wrong city, manager Noel Monk documented in his book that he left the side of the stage with a bottle of vodka and headed to his trailer to hide. Van Halen been paid a record $1.5 million for the show that was the biggest of their career, but somehow they got away with it, and the show became stuff of legend. It also helped the guitar wizard Eddie Van Halen play the show of his life. Most people loved the raw, honest rock and roll energy and lifestyle that Van Halen showed that night. The US Festival was a success, maybe not financially because it lost $12 million, but for culture and the genre of metal, it put it on the map. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of The Rock Crew.